What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? We're here with my final starting positional rankings for the 2021 season. We've done point guard, shooting guard, small forwards, and power forwards. And today we are here with the final position, centers. So, shout out to a bunch of people who gave me their center list on Twitter. Shout out to Joseph here. Shout out to Bulls Mafia. And I believe somebody else gave me their center tier list. It was MB. So we are, I believe, using MB's rankings here today because I think they look really good. I will fact check through it as I go along with this. Sorry if some of the other tier lists weren't super accurate. Like, I know apparently D'Angelo Russell wasn't there for point guards or shooting guards. And, like, Tatum got messed up for at least small forwards. And, like, Jaylen Brown was in for shooting guards, but he'll be a small forward. I'm sorry if there were little tweaks in there that were just kind of messed up. So I do apologize. But this one looks pretty good. Also, drop a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed me doing these tier list videos. We're going to get all these out before the season starts, as the season actually starts tomorrow. Yeah, we're getting NBA basketball. I believe you guys are seeing this on the 22nd, though, so the season starts today, which is actually just absurd. So, I guess without further ado, also, yeah, please drop a thumbs up on this video. I'd really appreciate it. And if you disagree with anything I said, please let me know down below. So, without further ado, we can get into this. So, to start off, we got Joel Embiid. He's elite. That one was pretty easy. He is a top 2 center in basketball, because I don't see Anthony Davis here. Or honestly, like those big men that sometimes play center, but not really true centers. So it's pretty much Jokic and Embiid as the 2 best. You can say 1A, 1B, or you can have one as like the definitive best. Now, I don't know if I'm just blind, but is Nikola Jokic not here? I feel like this guy forgot Nikola Jokic. Oh, just kidding. He's there. Nope. I was looking for like a brighter blue, and I don't know. I'm dumb. Next up, we have Brook Lopez. I think his defense and his rim protecting should get him to above average. Now, his shooting did drop off a little bit last year in 2020 than how good it was in 2019. But I still think he's one of the more underrated rim protectors in basketball, and I think he belongs in above average. I think average might be a little criminal, as I think Wendell Carter Jr. has been about average as a starting center so far. He's a good basketball player. He's still very young. Definitely has some potential. But I think he's average in the terms of starting centers, everybody on this list. I don't think he's above average just yet. Andre Drummond. Is he an above average or is he an average? I think I'm going to put him in above average for now. I mean, he's a solid defender. He's a great rebounder. Boy, would I not want him to be like a top 3 guy on my team. Maybe if he was your 4th or 5th guy, then you could maybe think about winning a championship. Or if your top 2 was like, I don't know, if you have LeBron, then maybe he could be a number 2, but still, I think Andre Drummond is a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser, so I think, yeah, he might get you to the playoffs or help you a little bit go to be the 8th seed, but I don't think he's going to help you win in the playoffs. So, we do have Tristan Thompson and Tice here for the Celtics. Let me see who their starting center is on their depth chart. So, Celtics depth chart on ESPN has Daniel Tice as the starting center. Maybe it's because Tristan Thompson's day-to-day, but if we're going to rank Daniel Tice, I mean, let me just double check that. I feel like it was gonna be Tristan Thompson. Let me see what Roto World has. They have, I think Tice, yeah, is the top center. Maybe it's because Tristan Thompson might be hurt. CBS Sports has that. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be Daniel Tice. I would say Tice is average. I would say Tice is probably right now maybe better than Wendell Carter Jr. What he is a screen setter. I think he's a solid rebounder and rim protector. He can space the floor a little bit and he can space it more than Wendell Carter Jr. I feel like he's average. We'll go throughout this and see if we want to drop him below average. Next up, we have Serge Ibaka. I think he's above average. What he does as a floor spacer for somebody of his size. He's a great rim protector, like a good shot blocker. Yeah, you probably don't want him on the perimeter guarding like quicker forwards. Like maybe if you have like Michael Porter Jr. as a power forward, like you don't want him guarding him because he's not the quickest on his feet, but he's still a great rim protector and he can space the floor and he has the size. I think that alone, those 2 keys can give you above average. And he's been good in the playoffs. He's an NBA champion. I think above average is good. Jonas Valanciunas. I feel like he's above average too. I don't know. You know what? Okay, I'm going to rank, okay, so Bam is definitely the starting center, so Myers Leonard won't be here. Let me do Bam right now, because Bam, I would say, is elite. I mean, maybe we'll put him in All-Star, actually. Maybe we'll put him in All-Star. Maybe he's not in the tier of Embiid and Jokic just yet, but he could be definitely next year. Cody Zeller, probably below average. Yeah, he's the first below average guy here. Really nothing much on the offensive end that can really just be, I don't know, a mismatch to other teams. Not a great defender. Not much as a passer. Can't space the floor. Yeah, he's not that good. He's not that good. He's honestly a fine basketball player. Like, if he's your backup center, that's fine. But as a starting center, no bueno. Rudy Gobert. Is he a leader all-star? This is tough. This is tough. This is tough. This is tough. I think I'm going to put him in elite right now just because of his Defensive Player of the Year awards, but I might drop him to All-Star at the end of the video, so bear with me. Who do we got next? Hassan Whiteside. I think Rashawn Holmes is better than Hassan Whiteside. I think Hassan Whiteside's a below average center. Yeah, he gets your block shots, but he does not know how to guard pretty much anybody on defense outside the paint. You get him outside the paint area, he can't do anything on defense, in my opinion. On offense, he's pretty one-dimensional. He'll put up box score numbers, but I think he's not as good as the box score says. I think he's already hit his ceiling. I think he's pretty below average as a center. Mitchell Robinson. Is he below average? Or is he average? Because you might take him over Wendell Carter Jr. I'll say he's average. I might change it. We'll go along here. Let me see who the... I'm not going to do Jonas yet. I'm going to see who the Lakers starting center is. So, according to ESPN, the Lakers depth chart, I think it's Marc Gasol right in here. I was going to come off the bench. Yeah, this ESPN has it as Marc Gasol, and the Roto World also has Marc Gasol. Okay, so Marc Gasol. I would say he's about average at the moment. I mean, but I might actually put Drummond in average. Yeah, I'm actually going to put Drummond in average, actually, just because I think Drummond is similar to Whiteside, kind of outside on the perimeter. He's not much on the defensive end. Yeah, he's a solid rim protector, and he gets a decent amount of steals. And also on the offensive end, he thinks he's a lot better than he normally is. He thinks he's a floor spacer. I mean, he had a couple threes in the preseason, I think, or I know he at least hit one against the Knicks, but he wants to be the point center. He wants to bring up the ball and handle it. That's not his game, and that makes him a worse player. That's kind of like how Julius Randle is, and that's how I assess his ranking. And I think Marc Gasol has dropped off, definitely his athleticism. He still can kind of space the floor, but not great. He's still an incredibly smart player, and his passing ability and his vision, it's really good. And his defense is still not too bad. I would probably just put him at average at the moment. So Montrezl Harrell we won't rank. I mean, maybe I'll rank some of these guys at the end if I want to. Vucevic, above average. He's really good on the offensive end. Maybe underrated on the offensive end. Like, out of these three guys, he's definitely the best offensive player, but probably the worst defensive player. But that's what I'm going to manage. I think his offensive ability is very close to, or the gap between Vucevic's offense and the other two guys in above average offense is pretty much the same between their defense and his defense. So I think above average is pretty fair for Vucevic. Dwight Powell, is he below average or is he average? I might put below average now. I mean, he can somewhat space the floor. He's pretty good with when Luka, like Luka's pretty good or a little bit better when he's on the floor, which is pretty big. Maybe I'll put him in average. Maybe I'll put him as an average guy. Yeah, I might change it as this goes along. I believe DeAndre Jordan is the starting center for the Nets, correct? Which I don't think that should be the case, but if I just check ESPN, it has DeAndre Jordan. Okay, I think Allen's better. Honestly, I think DeAndre Jordan is becoming a below average center. I just don't think he's very good anymore. I think Jared Allen would definitely be an average. I mean, I guess DeAndre Jordan might be an average. Is below average too harsh for DeAndre Jordan? I just think he's so slow. And he's just lost a lot of his athleticism he had in LA. I don't know. I think I'm going to put him in below average. He's not much on the offensive end. His best thing is pretty much he's a good offensive rebounder. I don't think he's that much of a defensive player anymore. I just think if anything, kind of like Whiteside, you get him outside the paint, boy, you're gonna go right by him. You're gonna go right by him. His athleticism is gone. I think the only reason he starts is because of politics and because he's friends with Kyrie and KD, and that's how we got 40 mil and 10 mil a year. I'm gonna stick to my opinion. I'm gonna go with DeAndre Jordan and below average. Nikola Jokic, this one is easy. He is an elite. Valanciunas, hey, I'm assessing you later. Miles Turner, I think above average. I think he's a very similar player to what Brook Lopez is. Not the best floor spacer, but it's there. But incredible shot blocker, incredible rim protector. I'm not the best rebounder either, but I think he belongs at above average. Steven Adams, because this is like the whole Steven Adams, Clint Capella debate. I don't know. We'll go back to Mason Plumlee as a starting center. I feel like it's below average. That one's pretty easy. Aaron Baines, average. He can space the floor. He's a solid defender inside. Not a bad passer. I think average. I'm going to put also DeMarcus Cousins in average. I don't want to put him in below average because he's looked good in the preseason. I want to give Boogie the benefit of the doubt because we've seen him as the number one center in basketball before. So I'm going to put him in average at the moment. Clint Capella. I feel like Clint's kind of average. I feel like he definitely benefited of being with James Harden, who is one of the best facilitators in basketball. And I think his defense is okay. I wouldn't think it's as good as Brook Lopez's, Miles Turner's, or... Yeah, I don't think his defense is as good as Ibaka, Lopez's, or Turner's defense, and I don't think his offense is nearly as good as Vucevic's. I'm going to put him in average. We have a lot of guys in average. We have a lot of guys in average here. Oh, wait. Wait. Who's the starting center? I don't know if it's Wood or Cousins. So, according to ESPN, it is Christian Wood. Okay, so never mind. I will not be ranking DeMarcus Cousins. That's actually kind of fine. So, Christian Wood. Huh. I might put him in average, too. Above average might be a little premature based off, like, the good half season he had in Detroit. I think he will break out this year and be an above average at the end of the year. But I think right now, I'm going to put him in average. Clint Capella is tough. Like, I kind of want to put him in above average. But do I think he was just a product of being... Okay, you know what? You're going to the end with... Yeah, you're going to the end these two, because I got to figure out how I want to do these guys. Cat, I think, is elite. I mean, we could put Gobert and All-Star. Or did we just do this? We could do that. Yeah, like, these are clearly the two best centers. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Let's see here. So, I believe Jakob Poeltl. Okay, so we can do James Wiseman. At the moment, he will be below average just because we don't know what he's done as a starting center. And will he be as good as any of these guys right away? Possibly. Could definitely be. Playing with Steph will help, and Draymond and Wiggins and Oubre, and being on a good team right away will definitely help, rather than being kind of stuck on a bad team. But I think it would be a little unfair to say he's already better than these four guys, which he definitely can be. I'm just not going to... It's like usually the below average slash unproven tab. DeAndre Ayton. I think he's above average. I think he's better than every single one of these centers right here. He's only played 2 years in the NBA. He's obviously been suspended already. But I think he's good enough where he's above average inside as a bruiser, rebounder. I think his defense actually isn't that bad. I do think it's not as good as any of these guys' defense. But I think it's just probably a little bit better than Vucevic's, or around the same. And I think their offense isn't far apart. So I think above average is fine. Jusuf Nurkic, above average. When healthy, I think he's a top 10 center in basketball, or close to it. I think I'd probably take him over every center here, honestly. Who else do we got here? So, okay, let me rank Valanciunas. Is he average, or is he average or above average? Okay, Al Horford, I would say, is pretty average at the moment. In Boston, he was definitely above average, maybe even all-star. But time in Philly wasn't great. He's getting up there in age. He'll be on a bad team this year, so we'll see if that affects his play. So I think average is good. Thomas Bryant, I think I'm going to put him below average just because I'm not a huge fan of his defense. I thought I was going to see a big jump from him last year. And I don't think he's a bad... I mean, maybe that's a little harsh. And I think he'll be pretty good this year with Westbrook. So you know what? I'm going to put Thomas Bryant in average. So... Remaining, we have, I believe, Jakob Poeltl, Jonas Valanciunas, and Steven Adams. Let me just make sure Jakob's the starting center. Yeah, it is Jakob Poeltl. Okay. So I think Jakob Poeltl is probably similar to, like, Mason Plumlee as a player. So I think he's below average. Capella and Adams. Do I put him in above, or do I put him in average? Because I think Valanciunas is also similar to those guys. What do I do? I'm torn, guys. I think this is the hardest tier list I've done yet. I think centers is the hardest one. What do I do here? I'm really torn. Do I put them in above average? I want to, but then I don't want to have too many guys in above average, because if I put all 3 of them, then they'll be, maybe I'll just put them all in above average. I think they're above them. I mean, let me see here. So, if I put all 3 of these guys in above average, would there be 15 guys at least around here? Let me just see. So, we would have 5, plus, that's 11, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so there's 14 guys here. I guess average is at 15. I guess. I don't know. I guess so. Then my average centers would pretty much be like 17. Just kidding. It'd be pretty much, what is this, 6 guys? It'd be like 24 to 16 is my average. I don't know. Okay, I'm torn. It doesn't really matter. Like, I was like, all right, do I just put all these guys here? And then have these guys there, or you could put them here. Honestly, I really, it's either or. You could have Valanciunas, Adams, and Capella as above average. I'm going to leave it as that, but if you're going to complain and say that there's too many people above average, you can then slide all 3 of these guys down, and I wouldn't really be too upset with that. So that's going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video and all my tier list starting positions for next year. Drop a thumbs up if you did enjoy all of them. I really appreciate it. You guys showed great support on point guard through power forward, so thank you all so much. And if you disagree with any of these, please let me know down below. This one was definitely the hardest one that I've done so far. So yeah, I think... Yeah, this was definitely the hardest one. So let me know in the comments what you guys disagree with, because I'm sure you're going to disagree with something. And thank you all for watching. I love y'all, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.